And we're live. Thank you guys so much for joining me. So today we're talking with Givers, a volunteer network based in Japan, and they are doing some amazing work covering basically bringing together humanitarianism and Bitcoin education. And so they're a Japanese group, but they actually work globally. So they go to places like El Salvador to do education around not just Bitcoin, but also, I believe, just all sorts of literacy programs, language, and other type of sort of educational empowerment, so to say. So really excited to learn more about what you guys are doing, because I've seen also you guys have raised quite a bit of funds lately. So it's a really good time to kind of bring you up on the spotlight and learn more about your proof of work, your impact so far, and your thoughts around Bitcoin and humanitarianism. So let's get started. Here we have Yuka and Liuko. So honored to have you guys here, and let's dive in. Let's tell us a little bit about your journey. What brought you here?
Yeah, first of all, thank you so much for having us here. We're sorry for our mask. It's just for security, just in case. And yeah, basically, she's the president of Givers. I am the founder of Givers. Givers was founded in 2022, around November, and the aim of Givers is basically to provide opportunities to children and students in communities in impoverished areas. So my father is actually from El Salvador and my mother is from Japan. So the reason why we are focusing more on El Salvador is because of that, because I have my family there and I've always wanted to do something for my community, especially in the impoverished areas. So the way we do all of this is through education. So we, as you mentioned, we do not only provide Bitcoin education, but we also provide education that could help children get out of poverty, such as languages, motivation, entrepreneurship, SNS marketing, connecting high schoolers to other schools or universities so that they can get other opportunities to actually be able to go to a university, because the rate of students that cannot go to university in El Salvador is very high. So we would like to also contribute to that. And apart from that, we're also giving a bunch of donations, such as, for example, this year in March, we gave 4 TVs to 2 schools. And we also provided 1 year worth of school supplies to students. So the package included a backpack, some notebooks, a lot of pencils, a lot of pens, erasers, colors, etc. And for hygiene, so we also saw that there is a really bad problem going on with hygiene in the schools, especially in bathrooms, because of the lack of money to fix the bathrooms. So we also donated around 250?
216.
216 soaps to 3 schools. So where we're focusing on in El Salvador is actually not around Elizonte, which is where everyone usually knows. It's called Apaneca. It's a little bit on the mountainside. So it's not in the beach. And
the mountains are beautiful there as well.
Yeah.
Yes. The Geyser team, we went to Berlin, which is not a famous spot. Mainly there. It's beautiful vistas are really quite stunning, right? So you're based more in this kind of focusing on this region in the mountains. Fantastic. And it seems like it started off, the impetus was really like supporting education, really the volunteerism aspect. So how did Bitcoin come into this?
So basically, everything started when El Salvador started to like Bitcoin became
Accepted
the currency of
legal
El
tender.
Salvador. Yes. And we thought that in order to for the children to be able to get out of poverty, well, they first need to understand their own currency. So that's how we started to kind of implement this Bitcoin education. And as we were starting to, learn more about it and actually provide the classes, we started to notice that it can actually provide a lot of more opportunities, not only for them to understand their currency, but also for financial freedom, for so many other things. So that's why we're trying to collaborate more with other organizations. So last year we collaborated with Cuba Plus, but this year we collaborated with Node Nation, with this amazing professor called Pupusas. That's his nickname, and
Yes.
he helped us throughout the entire project. So we were in El Salvador for around 20 days. 7 students from Japan went to El Salvador with us, and 2 students from the US came with us too. And each one of us had something to teach, such as dance, karate, English, drawing, entrepreneurship, SNS marketing, presentation making. What else? Volleyball. A lot of different things to teach the children. And well, the reason why we're teaching so many things is because the way we approach children, so more than anything, elementary school children and kindergarten students, is by providing them the opportunity to be able to experience multiple things. And through this, they can understand what their talents are and what they actually like. So they don't have to keep this vicious circle of following their family's like job, even though they don't want to do it.
Right. Yeah.
Or following this, not very good work environment, and actually be able to, well, accomplish their dreams.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah. Makes
so
sense.
yes, that's how we basically approach the younger students. And for the high schoolers, we approach them more like specific with specializations, so that they can specialize on, for example, this year we gave entrepreneurship courses, and we also gave them like a workshop where they can create a node. So that's what Node Nation did with us in the high schools. And well, the reason why we decided to give these courses is for the high schoolers to be able to learn something more useful for their lives once they graduate from high school, and maybe an idea of a source of income for once they get out of high school, so that they can start to get economically independent. And thank you, Sunflower. And
Thank you.
And I think Sunflower is a Bitcoiner based in Nigeria. So, the Bitcoin
Oh,
community, global Bitcoin community coming together. So that's fascinating. So if I understand correctly, then, the trigger was the adoption of Bitcoin as legal tender in El Salvador. And that made you think, okay, this is a great opportunity to start. Like, we shouldn't take the fact that now it's legal tender for granted. We still have work to do, right? We still have to
Yeah.
actually educate people about Bitcoin. But then as you
Yes.
went there, you realize, okay, actually there's a lot more basic stuff we need to cover. So
Exactly.
languages, sanitation, and so forth. That
have-
makes a lot of sense.
We have another member from
Yeah.
Givers.
Yeah,
She's doing her
bring them
face.
in.
Hi.
Hi,
Hi.
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
What's your name? I mean, you don't have to say it. You're another member. That's amazing. I love this.
My
Yeah.
name is Shibi.
Shibi. Awesome.
Gigi.
Gigi. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. So you guys, and how big is your team then? Like, as I see from the photos, there's quite a few of you.
Yeah, so we're not only doing activities in El Salvador, we're also doing a bunch of activities in Japan. And in
Awesome.
total, we currently have 175 members.
Wow, that's
Yes.
incredible.
Thank you.
175 members. And this is at the Sophia University.
Yes.
Right,
Yeah.
amazing. And it's only one university located in where in Japan?
Tokyo.
Beautiful. And right. And what's it been like, right? So legal tender happened, and you were an organization before, or no? It was created with the legal tender. You created this volunteer network, and then how has it grown since?
So basically, the Givers itself wasn't created because of the legal tender. It was created more than anything just to be able to provide more help to El Salvador and Japan. We wanted to do something good for the society. And then we saw the opportunity of Bitcoin. We started to, as I mentioned before, it became a legal tender. Well, we realized that, we learned that it was a legal tender, and we thought it was a tool for the kids to, get out of poverty.
Right. Yeah, to be empowered. Right.
Yes.
And also it's a tool for you to raise funds, right? Because now you can easily accept funding from anywhere in the world permissionlessly.
Yes.
So how has that been for you to think that, like, how has using Bitcoin itself help you understand the value and purpose of Bitcoin?
Well, I think monetary freedom is essential. It has to be a right for everyone. And by teaching it and by teaching how the system is broken, we can help the children, not only us, but also the children, to understand what is happening in reality, let's say. And that can unchain them from this vicious circle of, if you were born in a poor family, then you have to be poor type of.
Right. You have no access to the banks, right? You have no way of transacting digitally.
Yes.
That doesn't require permission. And you can also build, right? You can build businesses without asking for permission.
Exactly.
That's pretty powerful.
Yes. And especially with the fundings, since we're in Japan, we cannot really sending money to another country with the fiat is so expensive. So we were able to, in the first year that we went to El Salvador, we actually met this girl. She was 14 back then, and she was pregnant. And the reason why she was pregnant is because her mom's ex is the father. And it was not she did not have consent and anything. It was, but I think everyone can still hear me.
So.
Yeah.
Go on.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So it was basically rape. She was struggling so much with money. She had to become a mother by the age of 14. So she was asking me for some monetary. Don't worry. Can you hear us? Okay. Yeah. So she was struggling with money, and we didn't really have an idea of how to help her. But then we utilized Bitcoin to send her some fundings so that she can at least survive, because she also had other bunch of problems with her family. They were kicked out from their houses, and still she had to raise a baby, and she couldn't get a job because she was 14. So it was a really messy situation, but Bitcoin helped us help her. So that's actually another way we saw the potential of Bitcoin.
Well, yeah, that's an incredibly powerful story and very touching. And yeah, it goes beyond the basic need. We're talking here about the basic needs, and imagine someone who's 14 would not have access to any finances and has no support. Obviously, here probably need to get to the topic of orphanages and the importance of that, and maybe because actually there's a few orphanages that have launched on Geyser. There's one in Uganda, I believe. There's Orphans of Uganda. There's another one, I think, in Benin. And yeah, to think about the role of that. And again, this is where trust becomes really important, because you want to make sure that, that there's some basic quality, that, the money is going to the beneficiaries in the end. And Bitcoin makes it possible for this transfer to happen almost like entirely peer to peer. So it's really, I think, revolutionizing the question of donations from the ground up, right? What are your thoughts on that, in terms of, like, you guys are a nonprofit, right? You guys are a registered nonprofit.
Yeah, it's still a students association because we are still
Right.
students. But once we graduate, we want to. Well, I'm gonna graduate in September, so we are gonna make it an NGO so that it's more official. Well, actually, we're in the uni, so
Yeah.
you can hear the time
Yeah.
from the uni.
Got it. That makes a lot of sense, and I think so yeah, I'm curious to hear more about, like, let's talk about proof of work. Let's talk about impact. Did you have something to show us?
Yes. So we have a brief presentation of what we're doing. I think I'm gonna explain more speaking, but I would like you guys to see some of the videos that we have. I'm not sure if this is how this works.
Can we share screen?
Yes, please. If you share it, I'll be able to bring it up.
I think. Can you see?
Yep. Here we go.
Great. Okay. So yeah, well, this is just the explanation of what I was explaining before, like the reason why we built this. And the main goals is to offer sustainable long-term assistance to empower the children in El Salvador with a brighter future, providing them with a multitude of opportunities to break free from poverty, as I was mentioning. So yeah, where we focus more is Apaneca. So this year we went to El Salvador in March, as I was saying, and we went to 2 elementary school, 1 high school, and 1 women organization. These are some of the pictures. This is from the kindergarten in the elementary school. So the elementary school has a kindergarten. And this is from the high school. This is from the women organization. And last year, we also went to San Salvador. We collaborated with this organization called Cuscambia, and they took us to the places where gangs used to really hit horribly. So the places that we went to were Mexicano, Zapopan, and Ibu. And we went to some schools there to also give some workshops, such as language, Bitcoin, dance, karate. I think it was motivation also. And we also went to, well, this year we collaborated with this organization called ESAL, which is in El Zonte. And we gave a 4 hours workshop for entrepreneurship and motivation.
Very cool.
This is the picture of the ESAL. And yeah, well, this is Apaneca. This is the elementary school children. This is a picture where we're giving some donations. And I think this is gonna be better. So these are some clips for the karate class. As I was mentioning, provide experience for clips for. So we were given a Japanese class. Japanese class. They are and this is actually last year when we collaborated with Google Plus. So this is how she is Jonathan from Google Plus. He was helping us so much throughout the entire project. And he was mainly the Bitcoin teacher. He was teaching them like about inflation, about Satoshi Nakamoto, 21 million Bitcoins, everything of like the basics. This was part of the dance class. And then we also, in order for the children to be able to have a chance to present themselves in front of people, we created a Japanese play in English. The children can actually use the English in front of their parents and in front of their teachers.
Awesome. I muted the video by the way, just because it's not working. The sound doesn't work well when you speak
Oh,
with the
it's not
video.
working?
No, I've muted it. If you'd like, if I can unmute it, I can unmute it if you like.
The English class. And then this was also last year. So last year we also donated some shampoos and conditioners for hygiene. So these are some of the shampoos that we donated.
Right, you had mentioned it earlier. Awesome.
Yeah. And this is this year for the 270. Yeah, this is a little bit more of the entrepreneurship class we did in SL Elizonte. And for the woman,
quite a wide breadth. You guys seems like you do quite a lot. And is it each one individual is responsible for one particular thing? So martial arts, Bitcoin education, and so forth. Got it. Well, that's great. You all bring what you have, right? Your skills to the table and provide that that sort of that sort of knowledge and know-how. And in the process, you get to also learn about the reality on the ground, and you get to also explore your own skills in the process, right?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, it has been, we hopefully have been doing some positive impact in these communities, but it has definitely changed our lives. Like, we see life completely different in a positive way. And
the power of giving, right?
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yes. And well, this is a picture of the women organization. As you can see here, we did a self-defense class because this organization gathers women that were abused or could not have proper education, cannot have proper job because they're women. So yeah, we decided to give some self-defense classes and to donate around 60 menstrual cups. So it can help them with their income and they don't have to spend as much money for their feminine products. So yeah, this is a little bit of it.
Amazing. And look, it's like a lot of work. Like each one of these things must be hard to organize, bring all the people together, and you have to be connected to the reality of on the ground, on the actual like people on the ground, right? So it must be quite a challenge to I mean, props to you, the founder and the president that executes on all this, because it must be quite a lot, but yeah, in the end, incredibly highly rewarding and impactful, it seems, from what I'm seeing here. So how have you seen that in terms of like the impact, based on your sort of, I don't know, metrics or sort of objective or subjective sort of examples of like the impact that you've had on the ground so far?
Yeah, well, we have been, so this was the third year that we went to El Salvador doing this project. The first year, it was, I wouldn't say it was a mess, but obviously it was the first time meeting the children. They were like not very open. But definitely one improvement that we have had is the trust between each other. So the children really do trust us now, and we created this amazing bond between us. Also, in relation with all the education that we have been providing, I think there has been a great step forward. I think it's something that really takes a lot of time, education, especially with children. But we have seen some progress, especially with English, I would say. A lot of kids are trying to use English in their daily life. Sometimes they text us in English. They remember a lot of sentences that we taught in the first year and second year. And in relation with Bitcoin, I see so much difference compared to Japan, because the Salvadoran kids are really open to learn about Bitcoin, to learn about, this new concept for them, and to actually use it. So this year we let the children, simulate buying some of the materials that we use. So we'll let them pay with Lightning payment, for example, the worksheets that we would use with them, and the money would be from us. So it would be like, they wouldn't spend any money. It would just be for them to experience the Lightning payment. But they were really like excited about it and not skeptical about it at all. So I think that's something rewarding for us, because it motivates us to keep, teaching these kind of stuff. And obviously seeing all these willingness to learn, all this motivation of the children to actually be open-minded and try to absorb new things. It also gives us so much motivation to keep going and to actually help them get out of poverty in the future, which is a really hard goal and time-consuming goal, but
It's a gradual process, right? Just like
yes,
Bitcoin growth and Bitcoin adoption. These are long-term objectives, but it's just about the gradual cumulative work, right? Yeah, I can imagine just simply this group of, was it almost 20 Japanese students going there, and then this kind of cross-cultural cross-pollination can even that by itself create all sorts of new connections, opportunities, relationships, networks, that can be so great for the growth of like people on both sides. And big fan of this work. And I have history as well working in nonprofits, and I know how hard it is to enable and drive change. But it is incredibly enriching to see the people coming together from different places, different customs, and learning from each other. For example, there's so many things that I think Japan and El Salvador have in common, which is the sort of volcanic geology, well, you don't have many volcanoes in Japan per se, but you have the earthquakes. I think some of the like mountainous regions, the kind of culture around seafood, although I'm not sure in El Salvador how much. I don't know. Were there other surprises that you've discovered while being in El Salvador?
Nagkata-
Mm,
Surprises.
any places?
Surprises. Ano,
Okay.
Mm.
Mm,
kata. I've been like
Yeah.
my family is from El Salvador, so I guess it's better to ask them as like a cultural shock, I guess. So
yeah. Okay.
I think the culture there is very different from Japan. People were very lively, and I think I heard a lot of music and a lot of people greeting each other like every day, like on the road, just saying good morning, good night, good afternoon. And I think that was a very different and fun culture that they had, that I was surprised about. And yeah, even when we would go for any like celebration or hang out with her family as well, everyone greeted us with a lot of welcoming vibes, and it was really fun. And I think that was very different from a lot of Asian countries, I think. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, yeah, I can see that being quite different in some ways.
And I think that atmosphere also helped us be able to talk with the women or children in the schools we visited, and to make a really good bond as well. And it was way easier and helpful for us as well.
Got it. Well, that's awesome. So, what are the plans going forward? Like looking forward a year, 2 years, 3 years? You mentioned maybe creating a nonprofit, but what's your vision behind Givers?
yes, so right now is only a students association yet, but as I was mentioning, now in September or well in July, now that summer break will start soon. We want to focus more and put more of our effort towards making it more official, so that we can create impact bigger and we can create it more sustainable. Also, another thing that we want to do is to have people in El Salvador that can actually work with us, so that the education can be more sustainable. Not only when we're there, but also while we're not there. We have
Right.
been doing some online classes and providing some online material, but it's not the same as when we were there. So we do want to have some people that can work with us in El Salvador and have the same vision with us, so that we can make this impact, this positive impact, bigger and more sustainable and long lasting, and actually make the change, actually change the lives of these children, students, and women positively. So yeah, that's the vision for now.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, and, I could see this having a very strong impetus from sort of your connection to El Salvador, and creating this connection to Japan. El Salvador is really beautiful, and I love the idea of having a type of like presence in El Salvador to make this relationship longer lasting, sustainable. That makes a lot of sense. And then also, I think probably maintaining this connection with the university, right? So that
Yes.
it's so powerful. Like students love to travel, they love to
Yes.
learn and explore, and they're
Yes.
perfect age to be doing that, and to
Yeah.
learn about Bitcoin and at the same time.
Yeah. And actually, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Actually, it's like a win-win situation, because the biggest cause of death among youth in Japan is suicide. And I think this fact of taking young students to a completely different environment, a completely different world with completely different cultures, is eye-opening for them and is very beneficial, so that they can have motivation to leave and keep going, and maybe do something else from what they're doing here.
Right.
So yeah, it's a
Yeah.
win-win situation.
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, agreed. It's a shame that, yeah, sort of the situation in Japan is really, really a shame. And I'm curious to hear your thoughts on the how Bitcoin can play a part in that change. Perhaps um, um, a lot of the problem are economic problems, right? Sort of stagnating. It's complex. I'm not an expert at all, but but what I'm curious about is how Bitcoin can fit into that in some way. If there's Bitcoin starts becoming sort of more used as an inflation resistant money that can empower people. That Japanese people are incredibly thrifty. They're focused on saving, on long term investments. Passing on generational wealth. So Bitcoin would seem like such a perfect fit. And yet, from what I hear, Japan hasn't entirely accepted Bitcoin. It's
Yeah,
more crypto kind of things, but less to
yeah.
Bitcoin. So I'm curious, have you seen that as well? Is it any different? Are you doing educational initiatives around Bitcoin in Japan itself? And how has it been received?
Yeah, so I've had the chance to work as an intern right now at this new project in Tokyo, which is called Tokyo Bitcoin Base. And it has let me learn way much more of the current situation of Bitcoin here in Japan. And yeah, definitely, as you heard, it is true that the Bitcoin adoption is super late. It's actually, according to Cornell University study, Japan is the slowest country for Bitcoin adoption. And I think, yeah,
In
it
the
has,
world.
yeah, in the world. And I think it has to do a lot with, the government and a lot of people, this culture of following the rules. And
It's a really interesting one because there's this concept of a trust society versus a high trust society versus low trust society, and Japan is a very high trust society, and Bitcoin
yeah,
is a
definitely.
very low trust money. It's like
Yeah,
it's the money for when you don't trust, right?
yeah,
So it can see that being the case. Like, why would you buy a low trust money when you can trust the government? And in most cases in Japan, you probably can trust the government more than
yeah,
you can in a random, developing country where there's probably a lot of corruption. So Japan is an incredibly interesting example, and I love the Japanese culture and the diligence and the respect. Um, and yeah, but somehow that goes against the thesis of Bitcoin as money that, yeah, low trust money. Um,
yeah.
yeah, it's interesting.
I think these days, the broken system has been little by little being more shown towards the
Right,
society, because actually now there is poverty in Japan,
right.
which is something new. And there
Yeah.
has been so many new cases of, this sketchy jobs where young people just do for money, and sometimes they would literally kill people for money.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I think, the as I was mentioning, the broken system is little by little starting to
Show.
show up. And maybe, well, definitely, I guess Bitcoin education can, lead these young people that are killing for money, or not only young people, but also, for example, single moms, single parents, or other people that are struggling financially here in Japan can definitely be benefited from, and maybe can even, like, this philosophy of Bitcoin can help them get out of this kind of depressing loop.
Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, so it could not only help them financially, but also mentally, and
Absolutely. Because the
could,
mental is a function a lot of the times to
yes,
financial and the economic, right?
yes,
Low job, no jobs or poorly paid. You don't have see yourself as, having a future, or even not being able to give the same to your children as to what you received. There's nothing worse than that.
yeah.
And
And
hopefully
actually,
this
maybe,
wakes people up a bit.
Yeah, maybe that's one of the reasons why Japan has one of the lowest birth rates in the world. Also,
Mhm.
there
Right.
is yeah, there is like a lot of people see Japan as one of these developed, amazing country, but there is actually a lot of problems going on, especially in this new era.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Well,
yeah,
yeah, it's probably a good sign to focus the givers on kind of concentrating as well on El Salvador. And it seems like it's funny because it's both ways, right? You are from El Salvador, your father's from El Salvador. You have been sort of touched by this Bitcoin phenomenon, and you're connecting Japanese people to El Salvador low trust society and this low trust money, and sort of almost you know bridging with the country is also bridging the money question and bringing that problem and solution to people in Japan. So that's really interesting example, and I'm really looking forward to see how you guys continue, how you guys grow.
thank you.
And I don't know if you have any final thoughts. I do have one final question, but if you have also any final thoughts or things to cover that we did not mention.
Entrepreneurship これからどう
これから。Actually, I'm planning to hold entrepreneurship class also in Japan, and so I'm gonna brush up my curriculum of entrepreneurship education, and hopefully I will hold more better curriculum next year.
Yes,
Beautiful.
and since we also provided this entire course of it was a 2 weeks intensive course of entrepreneurship and creating a node. So we basically divided the entire high school between those students that wanted to do entrepreneurship and those students that wanted to do more like focus more on the IT side, which is like creating a node. Both projects took 2 weeks, so we divided ourselves into two. And yeah, she was in charge of all the entrepreneurship workshop or the other entrepreneurship course. And now currently in Givers, we have 7 main groups, which is child support in Japan, animal shelter support in Japan, environmental help, fundraising, El Salvador, management, and SNS, so marketing type of. And in the El Salvador group, we are working to connect these ideas that the high schoolers had about entrepreneurship to actually companies here so that they can get like investments, or maybe they can connect their ideas to something in the reality and they can make these ideas reality.
Beautiful, beautiful, incredible, and I love this. I love everything you just said. But I was just checking the Twitter, and someone just made, there were 2 really large donations as we were live. So one of
No way.
$4,000,
Thank you so much.
$4,600, another one of 1,200, just in the last
my God.
20 minutes. So this is kind of my
Wow.
question, which is pretty amazing, the amount of support you've been receiving.
Yeah,
And I'm curious
crazy.
if you have any thoughts on, I'm not sure, it doesn't matter who it is, but like in general, who are they? As is it Japanese Bitcoiners? Is it who's supporting you? Because you guys are doing something right. But sometimes it's hard, even if you do something right, it's hard to find the people that can back your projects. I'm curious if you can teach maybe even other projects that are listening to this, and how do you effectively raise funds for your initiative, which is also really hard, and how do you create these super fans that want to make your idea happen and make your idea to reality?
Yeah, actually, we don't really know who these amazing people are. So we wanted to tell here, we wanted to use this opportunity to actually ask those kind souls to maybe send us a message on X or send us a message to our mail so we can, talk about what are your expectations and what we can do to actually reach those expectations, because we cannot be more grateful. And you guys, with these donations, we are now able to go more than 3 times to El Salvador with a bunch of students from Japan, and with a bunch of donations to El Salvador, like donations, not tiny donations, like actually TVs, projectors, this machinery that the schools really need. And this is thanks to all of these amazing people that have donated us. So we wanted to ask you guys, if someone here watching is that amazing person, to text us either on X or on our mail. We're also doing Instagram. So if Instagram is better for you, you can just text us, and we can jump on a call and maybe see how we can how we can make reality your expectations. Yes, so that's one thing that I wanted to mention. And as an answer for Mick's question, I guess, well, the first year we struggled so much with fundings. It was really hard. I had a bunch of anxiety attacks because of that, because it was just so bad. But yeah, the first year, a lot of family members helped me. I have my aunt is also a Bitcoiner, and she helped me so much promoting this event, this project. And actually, she's the one that introduced me to Gazers Fund.
Wow, amazing. Thank you, Aunt.
Yes. So, yeah, since we started to do this, to launch our project in Gazer, a lot of Japanese Bitcoiners started to get interested in this new, project that you guys are doing, because there is nothing like this in Japan, what Gazer is doing. So a lot of Japanese Bitcoiners, just out of curiosity, they were like, "Oh, how does this work?" And they started to donate to us. And we were also working pretty hard to make these presentations, make these videos, so that we can actually prove that we are doing we're actually doing the work. So yeah, that was the first year. And for the second year, we tried to increase the amount of connections in Japan, in El Salvador, even in Mexico, and in the US. And we were
What do you
able
mean
to
by connection? Sorry, just to understand.
connections, like just talking, for
Like,
example,
like network, expanding your network.
yes, network.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
For
Got it.
example, the embassies of the El Salvador embassy in Japan, the El Salvador
right.
embassy in El Salvador, the El Salvador embassy in Mexico, and the Ministry of Education in El Salvador, the minister, and the Bitcoin office in El Salvador, and other projects related to Bitcoin, not only in El Salvador but also in Europe, like Plan B Network. So we started to, try to expand more and more and more. And we had the chance to participate as staff in Bitcoin Tokyo last year in September. Yes. And well, we were, working as a part-time job because we were still students. But I had the chance to, Agilex from Plan B Network helped us create this marketing strategy plan to create an auction. And Mario Flores, which is from Google Plus, and he just actually got how do you say, promoted. Yeah, promoted in the Bitcoin office. He helped us bring some Salvadoran coffee, amazing quality Salvadoran coffee with the sign of the President Najib Bukele, and other signs from amazing persons like Max, Stacy, and other hardcore Bitcoiners. So we did this auction, and many amazing people tried to buy this coffee. So that's how we started to like get more fundings, because all of the money that was gained in this auction went directly towards the El Salvador project. And yeah, we kept using Geyser. We also have been doing a lot of, have been participating in markets, and right now we're also working on our own business. It's still not launched at all, but we also want to monetize Givers by our, hard work.
Yes. Right.
So the highlight of the Bitcoin conference in September was definitely, the President Bukele retweeted our activity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I retweeted the activity.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah, the President Bukele also knows about us a little bit. And yeah, I guess that's how we have been working for the fundraising. But definitely this mega donations are something that we were not expecting at all. And we are so happy. Like, we literally don't have words for it.
Well, yeah, beautifully said. So to summarize, like it's been a struggle. It's not easy, especially in the beginning when you have very low trust, right? And people don't know you, and you're starting off. So having the support of the family, the friends, and a small group of people that care about your idea from the beginning is super important. You have to sometimes struggle through hard times, and that's normal. And then creating these networks, right, that you've created across embassies, across educational networks, across different organizations, the Bitcoin community. Sometimes going there, meeting in person, meeting online, talking to people in the Bitcoin ecosystem seems to be super important. And then showing the proof of work. You have this great presentation, right? Showing the work, showing the idea. The use of Geyser as a simple way of receiving donations. I don't know if you sell. Yeah, you did the auctions, which was awesome. You could also sell things on Geyser as well, I guess, as an alternative as well. I don't know if you've done that in the past. But yeah, it seems like you're doing quite a lot of things right. You're telling your story very effectively. Very good storytelling. Very good explaining. You're incredibly transparent in terms of what the costs are. So props to you for you guys to really make the campaign as seamless, as transparent, as honest as possible, and showcasing the updates is a really good way to do that as well. So yeah, I mean, guys, thank you guys for what you're doing.
Thank you.
It was great to meet you finally and put.
Yes. Nice to meet you.
And let's do this again, right? Let's in a few months, a year or so, let's do this again. I'm curious to hear and see how you guys grow and continue growing, and how you can continue using Bitcoin donations to power up your project. Any last final words on where people can find you, or any last thoughts that come to mind?
Yeah, thank you for providing us such a great opportunity to show our gratitude, and yeah, we will definitely continue striving to create positive impact on children and contribute to a better future.
Yes. And
Beautiful.
yeah, well, thank you, Meek, so much for this amazing opportunity, and thank you everyone for this great donations. As I was just saying, we don't have words for how grateful we are. We're so happy about it. And yeah, just as a reminder, if one of you guys is that person who has been donating a lot to us, please reach out to us so we can have a conversation and we can make it even more likable for all of the donors, and even a better project for the society in general.
Seems like you have a Bitcoin Satoshi-like figure who's like making the donations on the ground but wanting to remain distant. It's
Yeah.
really, really interesting.
Yes.
But anyway, guys, I don't want to take more of your time. Yuka, Ryuko, it was an absolute pleasure. Keep doing great work. Really looking forward to seeing again the impact and the positive change you're having. So thank you.
Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much.
All right.